Hey, good Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Top Gun Options Market intelligence brief coming to you from Aspen, Colorado. Kind of been slacking off this week on purpose, just, enjoying the snow out here. We're getting dumped on today. I'm actually taking, that's why I'm doing a market intel brief right now, so I'm kind of taking the day to bury myself in some books. I'm reading. It's snowing like crazy out, which is great. So I'm gonna go find a nice restaurant or someplace mountainside to go get my mind right, and also knock out a lot of work looking at charts and technical analysis, fundamentals, you name it, to figure out what's going on. I also wanted to take a day because yesterday, love or hate the guy, and hate's a pretty strong word, but we kind of got the definition of hate yesterday from folks who tend to preach tolerance and empathy and caring and understanding, which of course they are the exact opposite. They're hypocrites. This video of President Trump when he was getting off, I think it was Marine One. He had just, I think, taken off from the White House and was going to Andrews to get on Air Force One. And when he landed, he was told about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing. Watch this clip, folks, when you get a chance, or if you saw it. That was a human. That was right. He was kind of taken aback. He's like, he didn't know. He was taken aback, and he's like, it's very sad to hear. He said, whether you agreed with her politics or not, she was an incredible woman, a great woman, and I'm very sad to hear that. And he stopped and he was like sad. And then he went and got on Air Force One. Right? Contrast that with this stuff yesterday after Rush Limbaugh died. Happy Rush Limbaugh is dead day. I didn't even get a chance to put up my tree. Twitter, social media was on fire yesterday, celebrating the death of a man from cancer, a horrific death. Over on the right side of Twitter, yesterday at the top was trending. What was trending? Rush Limbaugh. And then Twitter apparently took that down. And you know what was trending? Rest in piss. You heard me. Rest in piss. There's your liberals and Democrats, folks. You ready for this? Donald Trump finally, took him long enough, got around to turning General Soleimani. Remember this human piece of shit? The world's #1 terrorist, personally responsible for killing 608 Marines and soldiers. He was declared a terrorist. The Iranian Republican Guard that he commands was declared a terrorist organization under Barack Hussein Obama. Obama was busier killing Americans with drones than his brother, General Soleimani. Donald Trump turned Soleimani into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. The left goes apeshit. Do you remember this? My God, the left was crying at the death of this general. That tells you all you need to know. They celebrate the death of a man who actually mainstreamed conservatism. Same thing with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, man. The lady made my skin crawl. I don't think there was a decision in her entire career I agreed with. What an incredible woman. God bless her and her accomplishments. This is why I call it the former United States of America. There is no, how can you bridge this divide? You cry, you lament a death of a terrorist that kills Marines and soldiers, and you celebrate the death of a fellow American who actually blazed a trail in broadcasting. You're disgraceful if you were celebrating a man's death yesterday. I forget the guy's quote, but hey, man, I'm a part of humanity. I'm a human, and any man or woman's death takes away a little piece of me. That's the way I feel. I can't even, when I saw this yesterday. Thank God I was skiing most of the day, but I tried not to peek, but I had to peek, and I looked at social media, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I was like something else, like I expected people to be like we were, normal people were, with the death of Justice Ginsburg. It's an absolute disgrace. But in better news, did you watch the Biden CNN town hall? Of course you didn't. Or did you hear about it? Of course you didn't. Town hall disaster ignored by the mainstream media. This could not have been a more embarrassing spectacle, not only for the man, but for this country. So people on the left and him, Kamala, said Donald Trump had concentration camps on the southern border and kids in cages. Concentration camps, folks. You know, the more you use the term concentration camp and Nazis, the other side's a group of Nazis, it actually diminishes that term, and it diminishes the deaths of 6 million Jews and a couple million Catholics and gypsies and folks with mental issues that the Nazis killed. You know who actually has real concentration camps on this planet? China, with the Uyghurs. They're in, but you know what they're busy doing? They're busy making Nike shoes or Colin Kaepernick jerseys or shoes for LeBron James. So of course the left can't call out the genocide that China's doing. But you know what? You know what he said? It's a cultural norm for those folks. Are you fucking kidding? I it, you if you didn't see this, you're not going to see it because the media, if Donald Trump had said that, folks, people literally they would have exploded. But I woke up yesterday morning finding out that I am a white supremacist. So instead of saying anything about China's genocide and real concentration camps and their Muslims, he woke up saying, or I woke up to, the military is fueling the growth of white supremacy. He said veterans, which I am one of, and former police officers are leading the white supremacist charge. I can't. But people are like, this guy is in charge now? So Anderson Cooper with the hard-hitting questions. What's it like to live in the White House? What's your favorite color? If you were a dog, what would you name yourself? He said, I wake up every morning and look at Jill and say, where the hell are we? I believe that you do that. Here it is. Biden claimed that former military and police officers are fueling the growth of white supremacy. How dare you? Proof. Give me proof. The only thing these people can do is go point to Charlottesville, which was horrific stupidity and awfulness. Give me evidence, Mr. President and Mr. Racist Secretary of Defense, who wants to spend 60 days, because he's got nothing better to do, looking into extremism in the military, which, if you're not an idiot, means that they're going after Trump supporters. So I'm a white supremacist, according to Joe Biden, since I'm a former military officer. How about this one? Again, let's use the Donald Trump rule. If he said this, Anderson Cooper's face would have melted. Minorities don't know how to know how to get online. What? Yeah, he said that, folks. Black, he said, I think the quotes were, black and browns just don't know how to know how to get online. Oh my God. This is your president, folks. He isn't really. In title he is. We'll get to Kamala in a second. And then he made the mistake of actually being honest. What do I mean by that? He also found himself in a bind when he uttered a racist fact. Joe Biden says black on black crime is the primary concern of many minority communities, not police brutality. And then stops himself mid-sentence, realizing he just committed the cardinal sin of uttering aloud a hate fact. It's the truth. You can count on one hand the number of unarmed African Americans killed by police in a year. You'd need to be an octopus or a squadron of octopi to count how many African Americans are killed by African Americans. Go to Chicago for a weekend, folks. Haven't seen King LeBron James or Colin Kaepernick ever go take a knee in downtown Chicago after a weekend of black on black crime. So at least he did this. You ready for this? Here's another good answer. Biden, did you ever 5 or 6 years ago think every second or third ad out of 5 or 6 should turn out to be a biracial couple? My God, the people who see race in everything are in fact the racist. If you have to put a color in front of the words lives matter, you're a racist. But let's get back to the genocide, the literal concentration camps in China. It's just a cultural norm. If you know anything about Chinese history, it's always been the time when China has been victimized by the outer world is when they haven't been unified at home. So, he's trying to achieve a tightly controlled China. You ready for this? I'm not going to speak out against what he's doing in Hong Kong. For the love of God and all things holy. When Donald Trump failed at this, I took a flamethrower to the guy. Remember? 4 million Hong Kong folks every weekend protesting for freedom. Please don't let us be swallowed up by China. Donald Trump failed. Well, that's, Hong Kong's part of China, and I'm not going to get into Xi's backyard. What? Dude, they're running around with MAGA hats and American flags. I saw graffiti that said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Somebody got to the president because eventually he kind of shifted his sails, and over maybe a week, he's like condemning the violence. Joe Biden, right out of the gate, I'm not going to speak out against what he's doing in Hong Kong. What? What he's doing with the Uyghurs in the Western Mountains of China, culturally, there are different norms that each country and their leaders are expected to follow. You idiot. Joe Biden in 1939. Well, that Hitler guy, that's Germany, and that's what they do there. 1941, 1942, reports creeping in of Jews being rounded up. Well, that's the cultural norm. Those Germans, they don't like those Jews. That's just kind of not my business. 6 million people dead. That's your president, folks. I've been bottling this up, man. This is a disgrace. This man is... Joe Biden says that a pathway to citizenship for 11 million undocumented immigrants would be essential in any immigration bill. In the 2 hours that I've been up this morning, 2 veterans have killed themselves. About a veteran every hour dies by their own hand. We have 60,000 homeless veterans. Not a pressing concern with let's take care of 11 million future Democratic voters. Undocumented immigrants. How about the word illegal? Mr. Buckley, the reason I stopped you was this. Can I see your license and registration? I'm an undocumented driver, officer. What a disgrace. I can't even, this guy. I'm not even going to get into the rest of it. This thing was so bad. It was shocking. But what else is the president doing? Nothing. You know what he's doing? He's playing Mario Kart with his grandkids. And here he is at Camp David playing Mario Kart with his grandkids. And here's some hard-hitting news from Newsweek. Joe Biden, playing as Luigi, wins in Mario Kart race against granddaughter at Camp David. And from what we hear, he likes putting logs on the fireplace in the Oval Office. He doesn't want other people to do it. He can do it. That's what President Biden is doing as Kamala is talking with foreign leaders. She's on Emmanuel Macron, Prime Minister of France. Glad we had this first talk with Kamala. She's the one talking to world leaders, not Joe Biden. She talked with Trudeau. So who's running the country, folks? This dude, Mr. Magoo, or Kamala? A woman who didn't even get like a percent in the Democratic primary. I loved when she had to drop out of the Democratic primary because her campaign said here was the reason she had to drop out. Because of racism. Well, I agree with that. You had to drop out of the Democrat primary because of racist. You got it. And the death of Rush Limbaugh really kind of triggered me to make a sit rep here or a market intel brief because it's a disgrace. I did that. I swear when RBG died, I'm like, my God, that's sad. That lady's been battling for a while. That sucks. Didn't agree with the woman. Any death diminishes me. But the other side of the aisle celebrates death. Folks, if you're dealing with a group of people that actually celebrate killing an unborn child up to the moment of birth, and if you're the governor of Virginia after birth, which I kind of remember some sort of legal term called murder, you think they're going to like not dance on Rush Limbaugh's grave and his suffering? Tell me how you unite this country. Tell me how one side acts like that and the other side acts like human beings. You don't. China. Let's get back to Joe Biden, the big guy, and his 10%, and his son Hunter Biden getting a couple $1 billion. Hunter Biden hops on Air Force Two with Vice President Dad, flies to China with him. They never talk about anything. He gets a multi-billion-dollar deal for his hedge fund and flies back, and they never talk about anything, what he did in China. Either he's a shitty parent or he's a liar. You know what I believe. China threatens to hobble U.S. defense industry by limiting export of rare earth metals. Not good. Well, actually, it's great for me because I'm long the SLV, which is silver, right? So China controls roughly 35% of rare earth metals, man. What is in electronics? There's some gold, silver and gold, right? So they're going to try and squeeze us samarium cobalt. They can sit, that massive country, they can sit on their hands and say, we're not exporting a lot of this rare earth stuff. That would harm our defense industry. This is a national security issue. But you ready for this? Gordon Gekko Buckley is also bullish on China. What? You heard me. I said Gordon Gekko. I'm not Lieutenant Buckley at this point. I'm Gordon Gekko. I'm the guy that says, you got to be bullish on a country that does whatever the hell they want. And then I throw on my flight suit and go, I'd fly my jet over Beijing and do what needs to be done if the time comes. U.S. warship sails by China-controlled islands, angering Beijing, right? I've sailed here, folks, on the USS Abraham Lincoln and Kitty Hawk. I've sailed through these straits in the Philippines. I've sailed near the Spratly Islands, which about 5 different countries claim that they control. How's this end? You know, I've predicted that in the Biden presidency, China will most likely move on Taiwan. After Trump's initial stupid response to Hong Kong, if I were Xi Jinping, I'd be sitting there like, they didn't even do anything when we went after Hong Kong. Let's just take Taiwan now. This will be a black swan event for the market. Not if that happens, what's Joe going to do? Become Mario and switch places with his granddaughter? I mean, what's Kamala going to do? So right now, folks, getting a little bit of a pullback. Oh, real quick, ending with China. U.S. versus China, the battle for Bitcoin mining supremacy. I made an announcement last week. No, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. A week or 2 weeks ago that I was putting like $250,000 into Bitcoin. I'm not. Okay? I'm going to trade for now some Bitcoin derivatives, meaning the GBTC. Let me pull some up here. GBTC. Bitcoin seeing a pullback today. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It's an ETF, or the ETHE. The Grayscale Ethereum. Sounds like a space station. Why? Well, folks, why don't you do me a favor and Google North Korea Bitcoin? Last year, North Korea stole $600 million in Bitcoin. In the battle, this first sentence here, whenever I see the words U.S. versus China, guess what Gordon Gekko Wiz is going to pick? China's going to beat us. Militarily, it would be ugly. We'd most likely win. A lot of people dead. That would be horrific. U.S. versus China and anything else, they're going to win. So the rest of the sentence is the battle for Bitcoin mining supremacy. We will lose. Folks, Google this. It's on the Wall Street Journal, this video. Google this headline. Excuse me, Diana Habe. U.S. versus China, the battle for Bitcoin mining supremacy, and watch the video. The power required to mine Bitcoin, like, is enough to power a nuclear submarine. As I speak, there are millions. It's like Texas is like a third world country. I'm not worried about Texas. Why? Because it's full of Texans. Hurricane coming to Louisiana. We're not going to stay anywhere. The government will take care of us. Hurricane hits New Orleans. Oh my God, government, where are you? Take care of me. Hurricane hits Houston, Galveston, Texas. Hey, government, we don't need you. Kind of stay out. We'll take care of our own. Love Texans. Hashtag Texit. But I'm telling you, folks, we can't even, the damn wind generator, those big solar blade, the turbines that look stupid, they kill wildlife. Oh, and by the way, those big blades that are like a city block long, they will be here when the earth explodes. You see those things are being like buried in the ground? They don't break down. They're not even close to being, once they're like done with them, they bury them. Very ecologically friendly. But they're frozen and all the solar panels are all frozen over as well. Nice job, green energy. Let's get back to the Bitcoin thing. I tried to open a Pro or a Coinbase account, zero customer support. I opened an account, Edward Buckley, and tried to transfer money from my company over, and clearly they're like, no, they bounced it back, and I wrote support and this, and how do I open a company account? I think I sent 5 support tickets, not a word back. Homie ain't investing $250,000 into and there's other, well, Wiz, try Binance. I don't even like that name, so I'm not going to try Binance. This is a little too fly by night for me. I'm going back to my rules of engagement. My rules of engagement say I don't trade something until it's a grown-up, meaning it has options on it. That's always been my rule of thumb, and it's been very safe for me, and it's kept me alive and very profitable. Okay? So we can trade other vehicles, like I said, but the GBTC or the ETHE don't have options. What does have options is kind of an underlying technology underneath Bitcoin, is called, and the ticker is MARA, M-A-R-A, Marathon Patent Group. So, and it's down 10% right now. I'm looking for a good re-entry into this thing. I, of course, bought it at about 20. It went up to 25, and I sold it, and it kept going. So I'm going to wait for this thing to pull back. But me and the Bitcoin thing, I'm done. I'm not doing get a digital wallet, and here's your 97-character password, and if you ever lose it, you lose all your money type of shit. Nope. No, thank you. Remember this, folks. This is a fact. The war with China might not ever be a formal war, dudes launching off aircraft carriers, dropping bombs. The first shot fired in a war with China won't be a shot, it'll be a keystroke. You could wake up tomorrow and your Bitcoin wallet that is so secure is empty. It's a fact. If you don't think the People's Liberation Army 12th floor is working on this, you're an idiot. My rule of thumb is don't invest anything in Bitcoin that you wouldn't put on your coffee table, light on fire, and drink some champagne and enjoy watching it burn. I'm out. I'm done. All right, folks, this afternoon, get your popcorn ready. This is going to be awesome. I don't care what you're doing. Stop doing it this afternoon. Turn on CNBC or Fox Business, preferably Fox Business, and watch the Robin Hood, the unwashed masses testify sitting next to Ken Griffin from Citadel. This is going to be epic. This is going to be epic. It's going to suck because, of course, the congressmen only get 5 minutes each to make them. If I was the Republican side, I'm not a Republican. I've renounced my Republican citizenship. I'm done. I'm an independent. But anyway, if I was on that side of the aisle, I'd get everybody to give all their time to me or somebody smart in this industry and take a flamethrower. It's not going to happen, but it'll still be good theater. Okay? Ken Griffin isn't an idiot, and just watch this afternoon. Okay, so it really is. I think we might be leaving bizarro market. Remember, my definition of bizarro market was good news is good news, bad news is good news, and awful news is great news. In the old days, bad news, in the old days, let's not even talk about the old days. So today, this morning, the jobless claims went up. This is not good. That we're kind of not. This isn't. First of all, these numbers are heartbreaking to look at, folks. You can't even imagine where the hell is these numbers here? Thursday. Where are we? The weekly jobless claims survey said 835. No, that's ADP. Housing starts, building permits, unemployment. Oh, here it is. Look at this, man. Another revision. Revision up. Last week's numbers were up. We were looking for 775, 861. I'm a chart man. Let's look at the chart. Holy crap, we're all going to die of COVID. No, we're not. Folks, look at this. Let me slide this down here. Not that, this. So look at this. I hate the words new normal, but there's an uptick, man. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, we were going down. The market's like, hey, the all clear. Boom. Folks, these are people that will never re-enter the economy. I'm sick of this bullshit and this teachers unions. Did you guys actually think electing Joe Biden, he would side with children and families or the teachers union? Are you high? It's disgusting. Teachers unionized. What? How about the best interest of the children, not you? Be a little selfless. Anyway, how about we open up our country? But these are the people that will never come back into work. The housekeepers, some waiters, waitresses, even here in Aspen, man, the restaurants that are open are at 25% capacity. This pandemic is over. And do me a favor, don't move to Texas or Florida, but we're open. It's funny going from Florida to Colorado. Here's your Pitkin County affidavit. You have to have a test before you. What? Florida, man, we're partying our asses off. And our rates are the same, if not lower, than the death camp called New York or California. Governor DeSantis, I support you when you run for president. But is this a buy the dip? We talked about this, so I'm looking at the market right now. It's the battle of 3,900. I've been saying this for a couple weeks. We're going to, after we pop through 3,900 with, so round numbers are magnets, folks. 3,850, 3,900, 3,800. Look at this, 3,800. For a week, it was support resistance. The 3,900, we went through it, and now we're kind of getting pulled back to it like a magnet. This is good. A nice little kind of, let's take a little bit of a breather. This might be, look at all these pullbacks. They're kind of brief. Look at all these pullbacks. They've all been kind of brief, except obviously the GameStop, unwashed masses revolution. So this might be it, and then we head higher. Remember, folks, there's a potential Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, $1.9 trillion getting into the economy, let alone the $900 billion from December that really hasn't snuck in. So, one of the Fed lieutenants yesterday says, hey, man, first of all, Bitcoin at 50 grand is not a threat to the dollar. It's not at 50 grand today. Sees no asset bubbles anywhere. Hey, this is just normal investing. That's pretty dangerous for a Fed lieutenant to say. When the market is at all-time highs saying, hey, everything's normal. Okay, well, we got Warren Buffett's extreme mania indicator through the roof. Look at this. The Buffett indicator is up at insane levels, right? With complacency at 20 years highs, JP Morgan model warns of imminent correction. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. If this is a buy the dip moment, we kind of consolidate here at 3,900 and head higher, or this might turn into a February shit show and head back down here to 3,800 and the 50-day moving average. I'm going to keep my powder dry. I'm going to go put my cowboy hat on, go walk around Aspen for a little bit, do some reading, and I'm going to come back with a whole bag of popcorn to watch the testimony for this afternoon. Please make sure you watch it. It's definitely going to be interesting. But as of now, as we've been talking, let's go to SPX and take a look at the S&P 500 day chart. There you go. Look at that. I dropped an anchor point right in there at 3,900. So we kind of bounced around 3,900, went through it, and then it's kind of a ceiling right now. We'll see. If we pop through 3,900 with some airspeed, it's rally back on. If not, if this fails, it could get ugly. I think we're just going to be in a holding pattern until this afternoon to see what the clown cars have to say. You know, the Robinhood CEO, Citadel, Melvin Capital, and then the Reddit trader, who I can't even say what his on-screen name is. We'll see what he has to say. But, well, here's a kind of big buy, or I'm sorry, sell right there. We'll see. All right, I went way too long. But the Rush Limbaugh thing, the Joe Biden town hall, if Donald J. Trump had a, quote, town hall that was full of stuff like that, he'd be impeached for the 9th time. The fourth estate, the media in this country, is over with. There is no such thing as a career anymore in, quote, journalism. It's over. Just like the smart money and Wall Street and stuff like that. It died. 2020 was the death of a lot of things, and it's sad. Okay? All right. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. Namaste.